an interesting question. One thing to realize here is that we have an unbalanced panel. What does an unbalanced panel mean? Is that we have not the same individual are observed over the same sample. So imagine that part of the workers left, okay, or new workers kind of entered in, right? So you have an unbalanced panel for the different individuals, okay. So if we only have 2 time periods that we're measuring it on, imagine that you were the workers, okay, and I took all the workers and I measured your productivity before the performance pay was introduced. The first thing to notice is that this performance pay, by the way, is just a dummy variable, okay? This is a dummy variable. It would take value of 1 if t is greater than t0, so I could have also called this just post. Okay? So imagine that I go to all the workers, I measure your productivity before performance pay was introduced. The ln of productivity was 5.2. Now, imagine that this side of the classroom left, okay, and it was replaced by some new workers, okay? Now, I go and measure the productivity after the performance pay happened and new workers joined, and what I see is that my productivity went up by 20%, okay? So, before and after, productivity went up by 20%. That's good. Let's see if we can get more information from the second regression. Now, remember it was an unbalanced panel, so some individuals would have dropped out, but some individuals would have stayed, right? This half of the classroom is still staying, right? Now, imagine now if I do a regression on just this, this half individuals that I kind of see here, right? And I see how that has affected them over time. And what I notice is that controlling for the individual, controlling how good that particular individual is, by sort of looking at their performance, controlling for the individual performance, especially if I'm able to observe it over a long period of time, right? Because I might be looking at this over a period of time, right? So I might have a different point in time that I'm looking at it. I can introduce individual fixed effects, right? One person might be more productive than the other, etc., etc. The moment I control for individual fixed effects, what I observe is the introduction of performance pay only increases productivity. Think of it as the remaining worker, if you like. The remaining worker increase their productivity by 10%. Okay? So how could you combine these 2 regressions together? The results of these 2 regressions together? Yeah.
Would it suggest that the new workers that came and replaced the old workers were more productive? I'm tempted to say 30% more productive. So they were 30% more productive than the last one.
Okay, so let me kind of rephrase what he said. He said, am I right in saying that the new workers that came about were more productive? And he is spot on that, okay? Because the overall average performance increased by more than it's illustrated in the performance pay once I control for individuals, okay? So either the workers that came were more productive or the workers that left were less productive. The only thing that he kind of pushes on a little bit too much is to try and quantify that, because it would depend on how many workers left and how many workers didn't leave.
I was thinking half and half, so yeah. If it was half and half, it would be more, if we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, if you read the solution, half of this performance increase is coming because of older people, if you like, working more, or individuals working more, but the other half, the 0.20, so 10% of it is coming from individuals being incentivized to work more, and the other 10% is coming from new entrants into the workforce. So this is a quite nice regression to understand, okay? So the first one is just a dummy variable. You only have a dummy variable, so the interpretation should have been straightforward. It's a comparison of means, right? I'm just comparing means between the 2. In the second one, I am comparing means, but I'm also controlling for performance pay, right? So before and after on those means comparison. And this concludes question 4.